Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Brett's Brain. Today we're going to talk about the RoFR, or Right of First Refusal. Hey, I'm Brett Brohl, former entrepreneur, current venture capitalist. We're trying to help entrepreneurs succeed. If you like the content, share it, subscribe, do those things, and get it out to some other entrepreneurs, and maybe we can help them also. If you have any questions, happy to answer those. Put them in the comment section. We'll make a video for you. Okay, the RoFR, or Right of First Refusal. It's a really common clause when you're taking on investment from a strategic investor as an entrepreneur. That's where you see this. You don't typically see the RoFR term or asks of right of first refusal from a financial investor like a venture capital firm or like an angel investor. That's very rare to see. If you did see it in your docs or you saw it in your term or your lawyer highlights it for you, that's a huge red flag about that financial investor. From a strategic investor, you see it in those docs all the time. And it's still something that we tell the startups that we work with, it's a non-starter. We're not going to take investment, the capital from the strategic if there's a right of first refusal associated with it. And here's the reason why. Well, first let's dive into what a RoFR is. So really simply put, a right of first refusal is if you run, I'm an entrepreneur, I run a company, I decide that we want to try and sell the thing. We go out, we go to market, and we find a buyer for $10 million. Well, we had a strategic investor. And that strategic investor says, wait, I have a right of first refusal. You can't sell it to that person for $10 million. We have the first right to buy it at that price that somebody else gave you. And you have to sell it to the strategic. And so a right of first refusal gives a strategic investor or whoever has it the ability to buy your company at whatever value somebody else placed on it. And it can really, really hurt your ability to drive value or valuation in an exit scenario. And that trickles down to all future fundraising rounds. If you have a RoFR clause in a strategic investment deal that you did at your Series A, it's going to be harder to get Series B investors that aren't that strategic investor, because those Series B investors know that the end value when you get acquired is going to be lower because of the right of first refusal. And because here's what happens. You want to go out and sell your company. The strategic that has the right of first refusal has no reason to try and give you a number. If they want to buy it, they have no incentive to say, hey, we'll buy your company for $100 million to try and set the market. They get to say, we'll sit back and relax, and you try and go out and get an offer. And if we like that offer, if we think it's fair or it's a good value for us, then we'll decide to buy it, because you can't sell it to the other person at that same price. You have to give it to us. You have to sell it to us. And so it limits your potential exit opportunities. It limits who you can sell to. One of your strategic, not just the strategic that has the RoFR, who could have been somebody that would potentially buy it and need to bid on the company, but when you go through the sales process, you're going to have to disclose that you have this right of first refusal clause to other potential buyers. And when other potential buyers know you have that clause, it most often scares them away. And they're like, hey, we're not even going to go down this path, because we know if we go down the path, spend all this money, all this time evaluating your company, we give you an offer, that strategic investor that has a RoFR can just come in at last second, have to do no work, and say, yep, we'll buy it at that price. And so a RoFR is really a non-starter for us as a firm, and it should be a non-starter for most entrepreneurs when you're thinking about taking strategic capital, because it can really depress the long-term value of your startup. If a strategic really likes you that much today, then you might as well just try and sell it to them rather than taking on capital from them. And like I said, it really does have a trickle-down effect to all of your rounds between now and then. In fact, it might even make it impossible for you to raise a subsequent round once you have a RoFR term on your cap table. Be really, really careful about it. There's other ways to get around it. And strategic investors can be great and add a ton of value to your startup, but just beware the RoFR. Thanks for checking out this content. If you like it, share, subscribe, and don't forget to ask questions. Happy to answer them in future videos.